Hello, we're back again. It's me, 10, and with me once again, say hello, Naza.
Yo.
And last match of the day, Imperium Perfect versus Ippon Masters. And this is kind of an interesting game because the story of one of the stronger Latin American teams against what probably they consider the Latin American super team.
I'll start off with Ippon Masters, actually. Ippon Masters. I have heard of them, but I never really checked up with what they consist of when it comes to players. But with the name Ippon Masters, call it a hunch, but I'm guessing these guys will make sure that the Ippon bonuses that we're going to be getting is not for grabs.
I fully agree. I've run into this team multiple times in ranked. Akuma, just every time I decide to play BR, they're always in my lobby, making my life a living hell. So I have full faith that this team has the firepower to be able to match Imperium Perfect 1-for-1. My question is, right, because I know Ippon Masters have been playing together for a while. My question is how this kind of new team, Imperium Perfect, manages to play together with, far less weeks of practice.
Well, I guess I can explain that. Imperium Perfect is a team that is representing a handful of clans in the Latin community, with the IP member being Starling, the Lex member being Asbiel, and TR member being Airing, and off-limits member being Tony, and there's many more. They are relatively new playing together, but they are veterans in their own journey, so with their skill, I'm sure they would like to take that Ippon Master as well, but,
Indeed.
It's all up in the air.
Yeah,
but I'm sure that he can play any map.
Yeah, like out of all of the games today that I've been watching with you guys, I've commentated over, this one is probably the only game where I don't exactly know the relative skill level of all of these players. I've only seen small bits and pieces of their individual skills and mechanics that, to me, this game seems like a toss-up. But I mean, we're wasting no time in figuring it out. So heading into map 1, again, standard WNA Academy, and let's see how they do it up.
Alright, like to see the stream here.
And guess what IM's running? This right here is meta standard. Sound Hammer, Trick Ball, Drill, plus Board, I believe Shiro has. No, Skate Hammer. Yeah, this is relative meta standard. And IP is pulling up with the same exact thing. So this is really just a mirror match of composition. Really good Sound Hammer play off the gate by Ness, taking it to Arrington. Well, already off to a pretty strong start. Even game, which means that early game, it went 3-2 in the favor of IM, but Imperium Perfect managed to fight back and scrap a couple KOs here and there, but it seems like Ippon Masters are really kind of trying to pull away with this early game lead. Okay, and I mean, heading into this early mid transition, we're really looking for all eyes are on the first usage of Punishing Blade, the first usage of Dragon, so on and so forth. So that, right, the first usage is obviously the most important, right? And if the first Punishing Blade gets stuffed, then all that lead that Ippon Masters built in the early game will go to waste. Now, as you can see, again, Ippon Masters, as I mentioned earlier, right, they really brought back the lead that they had previously before, and they're just continuing to push that lead. Yeah.
Alright, they have their Punishing Blades and everything like that ready, so let's see if Ippon Masters can be able to go in and make what's right, get these points in.
So, first usage of Punishing Blade, like I said, is the most important, and, well, Akuma just gets stuffed. And the point total definitely reflects that because the game just shot right even.
Yeah, that's a snipe. That's a snipe right there. Alright, there's the inner drone. Pretty much taking that one out.
Wow. Akuma steals it and gets the KO on Asbiel.
Huge push right there.
Starling versus Akuma, round 2. Let's see what ends up happening here. Starling, good gun bind. Wow, Akuma dashes into the power buster, and well, that's all she wrote. And
You can't really do too. Oh god!
as Akuma turns around to lick the wounds, Starling says, "No, sir, not today." Fires right back with a tornado and trades the Ippon. Beautiful rocket coming in by Ippon Masters, and again, this game is still even. Double bind in mid, but the Soundhammer's there to kind of play defense. But the double polymorph by airing. Ness trades, but Tony trades back, and I mean,
yeah.
again,
Once you get caught by the sound hammer, you're pretty much like gonna have to hope that you don't get like hit even more. Like you're gonna have to try to get out somehow, or hope that they let you out.
really good rocket by. Well, I mean, this is gonna be a low value rocket, only getting 1 Ippon, but the previous rocket was pretty high value from airing, extremely valuable because it gets them the drone and it gets an Ippon as well. Whereas this rocket we just saw, right? It's, I mean, only getting an Ippon on a person who is already like no HP anyway.
All right. Ooh.
Good defense by airing, protecting Tony. Getting an Ippon where Tony should have been the one that died in that position to begin with. And Ippon Masters, 7 seconds left. They just took over this game.
They need to pull it through.
Yeah. Like, it was so even for so long, you know, a certain sequence of events, right? And all of a sudden, that 1K, 2K lead, all of a sudden, just gets blown open. And I mean, this was just team diff for Imperium Perfect, right? These players just outperform their counterparts. Nothing really more to note for this game, right? Solid early game by IM, but again, when I talk about mid-late transition, how point swings can happen so quickly, it just leads to disaster when you fail to do it properly.
The 2 sound hammers in that match, both of them being different types.
Yep.
Which one do you think is the best for WNA?
If we're talking WNA Academy, Iron Noise, 100%. Iron Noise gives you allows you the opportunity to be at 2 places at once, which is something that, you know, not many weapons have the ability to do. Like the only weapon that had the ability to do that in their base kit was pre-patch Yo-Yo. They could legitimately be in 2 places at once and provide opportunities for their team from a ways away. What Rocket lets you do is it lets you attack on 2 fronts, because you can throw Rocket in one direction and head the other. You can always throw Rocket right when you see your team in trouble and continue what you were doing. It really just gives you the opportunity, right, to kind of, you know, make your opponent have to always worry about where you're gonna be.
Yeah, like multitasking. You know, that's the thing about sound hammers. You can just do a lot of things with this. But now that we're going to Croissant Arena, I want to mention Drumbeat, because a lot of people do seem to mention that, you know, they'd be using Iron Noise a lot over in this stage.
Yes.
Drumbeat might actually be a good choice for this stage, specifically because of the fact that rockets are pretty hard to really pull off in this stage, just because of how large it is. It's easy to spot a mile away, but with a good Iron Noise, it really wouldn't be a problem, right?
Yes.
But Drumbeat, it's like an aggressive version of the Iron Noise. Iron Noise did come first, but Drumbeat is like the alternative that has been for close range combat. Has a gun binding tools. It has Dragon. It basically has everything that is meant to push people away and bring people closer to you, and pretty much force them like, hey, you cannot run away from me. It's time for you to you know, get smacked in the face by a big bass drum or something, you know?
Especially on Croissant Arena, which, like, even though it might not seem that way, is, you know, largely more reliant on individual skill and mechanics, and Drumbeat allows you to express yourself a lot more when it comes to your individual mechanics, and allows you to do more things when you're in isolated settings. I mean, as you saw Shinobi in that last series on Croissant Arena, when they were given space to work, they put in work, right? And when you have a weapon like Drumbeat, which, once the drum beat gets you, it's so hard to get away. It becomes so much better on a map like this, where your teammates will have a harder time helping you get away from the stun locks, the gun binds, and the Ippon.
They're ready to go.
Yep.
Seems like they're ready to go over to their mouths. As weird as it sounds.
So it seems like it's going to be a little bit of a scrap. But I consider this relatively standard. I mean,
and the skateboard's just looking around, getting that drunk.
Wow, that is. I don't even want to call that being better. That's just unlucky. That's just unlucky. Yeah.
That was a good hit on with the skateboard. That's a really good work there. You just pretty much wipe them out for the next couple of seconds.
Oh, Tony gets their weapon broken, but gets the sound barrier, so it's a nice even 1-for-1 trade. And I mean,
be careful now.
All right, Shiro lives, so it's pretty high value. And if you look at the score, right, early 2K lead, really good early game from Ippon Masters, kind of similar to how it went on WNA. We'll see if they'll actually be able to hold it, or if Ippon Masters will mount a pretty large comeback. Shiro gets ignored.
I would like to say that.
Gets ignored because the drone is gone.
That's weird. The gum that actually disappeared just after that. It's so weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, Redmouth is already contended for and already has his winner. Now we're heading over to Red Grass, where there is a drone.
Yep. Drone is taken. I'm waiting on anti-Tenshi. All right, this is super important when you're against Sound Hammer comps, right? Being able to take one of them out of the game is extremely valuable. Akuma. So you know how I mentioned that Silk threw the gum grenade at his feet? Yeah. This is the master of it right here, putting it into play. That's the master, putting it into play. Yes, indeed. Starting with the wonderful conversion. He mashes better, and he read what Akuma was going to do better. Comes out on top.
Hit like an anvil.
Yep. So Starling gets the drone, avoids the net, gets his weapon broke, and we'll just get KO'd. But meanwhile, while they're committing resources towards that, good timing by Tony to get that drone. You get that drone, and look, 2 places at once. He was at grass, and now he's at this big drone, right? And if Nest manages to steal the drone, gets immediately traded by the tornado from Asbio.
Awesome work.
If you look at the score, right, I was mentioning 2K lead. It's now down to 1K, less than 1K.
Hey, it ain't no joke. I suggest separating because there's gonna be those big drones around in the hangars. Might as well get those before they're all gone.
Good play by Tony. Kind of playing games with Akuma right now. This is the big subjective on the map, and now if Ippon Masters get this, they might just be able to close out the game, but it doesn't look like they do. Tony ends up dying, and the lead is starting to slip away. 50 seconds left. I mean, this game will come down. Yeah, this game will come down to the last couple of ninjutsus that are gonna get used.
Ooh, okay, I just saw a rocket. I'm guessing there was something that happened. Oh, hanger, perhaps.
Eric recognizes the drone's gone, so they leave. And
got 30 seconds left.
They leave for a good reason, because they have to get these drones ASAP. Again, Imperium Perfect swinging the lead back based on their just having better rotations mid-late game compared to IM. And 15 seconds left, they turned a 2K deficit into a 2K lead. And I mean, this is looking pretty out of reach. Well, not anymore, actually. With a couple plays in the end game, Ippon Masters manages to bring it back. Look at Shiro. Look at Shiro. Look at Shiro. Look at Shiro.
Wow.
18. We'll see if it's enough.
That's a lot of drones.
It actually ends up being enough. Ippon Masters not enough to save IP. We're talking a 1-1 game.
That is a pretty huge gap in the end of the game. Getting those drones are very important, but also keeping yourself alive during that time is also very important. So
quite
things.
quite similar to the game we saw with +1 Alpha and how Cutie pulled a 19 on this map earlier. Ippon Masters just did the same thing, right? They made sure that they were patrolling all the small drones that needed to be taken. They made sure that they're securing the big drones that needed to be taken. And even though they slipped up in mid-late game and let Imperium Perfect back into the game, they just shut the door on any chance that they had of bringing it back. So even though Imperium Perfect had, they had the better rotations mid-late game by far, the deficit that they had, right, ended up being enough. Like, even though Imperium Perfect managed to flip a 2K deficit into a 2K lead, it still wasn't enough to put the game out of reach for Ippon Masters to bring it back in the last 30 seconds.
I haven't really seen them really focus too much on those small drones, which is not a bad thing by any means. Actually, I think that's probably just better off just getting the normal drones and then getting all the big drones anyways. But I do think that getting those small drones just to get that drone master lead is very important.
100% agree. So running back to WNA, what adjustments do you think Ippon Masters needs to make? Because I mean, the game was close last time they played. They just lost it in late game.
When it comes to a game like this, points are managed through how much things you do or how much you inflict damage on people, right? So drones are like, pretty much the mainstay. You have to make sure to get those, and if you don't, then you're gonna let someone else take them, and they'll probably get more than you. So pretty much you have to go multitask. This is a game about multitasking. If you can get these things right, and you keep on doing it better than the other person can, then you'll win the game. So I feel like that they need to know when the drones are going to be showing up, get that rotation going, and make sure that you can be able to push people away from you and avoid getting hit.
100% agree. So game 3, WNA Academy, I expect the same standard opener, and it's coming to light.
A quick charge slash over to mid. It's a pretty tough situation, of course, because of the fact that they all went in and teamed up on this person.
That's a true tragedy for Akuma, dying not even 20 seconds into the game. I mean, this is,
you have to be real careful with that.
Yeah, this is almost as bad as an early game as you can. This is definitely a suboptimal early game, but it's nothing that you can't just shake off. This lead, or this deficit that Ippon Masters find themselves in early,
they're all grouping up together, which is a really sound strategy, especially when it comes to how people would combine the two with the trick ball and the sound hammer. Of course, you'll be able to get a lot of kills with that.
Yep. Good KO conversion by Erink, and I mean, their trick ball has been pretty solid all night tonight. So again, another polymorph and another conversion. You're gonna see a rocket here pretty soon.
A slam dunk.
That's 2 KOs for Erink.
Ooh, just kicked him out of the curve.
That's another polymorph. This might be another KO for Erink. We'll see. Misses the immediate conversion. Lets Akuma get away with their life, but the pressure that they made is probably more than enough, right? And again, frame 1 rocket mid. Goodbye, friends. Anti. Dead. The rocket by Erink. Good value.
Nice one.
And Erink gets the drone steal too. Alright, I mean, Erink's just putting on a clinic this game. Absolutely, it's their game this game. Another polymorph? Is this going to be another KO?
Oh man. Oh, nice cover with this with the sushi eggs.
Good. Oh, that's a 2K rocket by Tony. Excellent work, and that really just allows them to expand the lead that they have. As you can see, 4.7K. Game starting to slip away from Ion in the mid game.
They'll need to get those big drones once they start popping up, but they need to avoid getting hit too much, and they also need to avoid getting into a lot of parry situations where they know they're probably not going to lose it.
Yep. And Erink's reign of terror ends. True tragedy. Loses in the parry, but IM is
There's
just getting
too many.
IM
Too
is
many
getting
cards.
brutalized across the map. Absolutely. And this lead that Imperium Perfect has is only getting bigger. It went from 1K to 2K, now it's approaching 5. Not even 5K, 7K. I mean, Imperium Perfect need to have a plan. Otherwise, this game is just gonna end within the next 10 seconds.
Sacrifices will have to be made with this.
Not again.
Oh, no.
Anti, no. Once again, falling victim to Ering's rocket, and Starling with the, or Asbiel with the tornado, taking out Akuma, or taking out Ness. I'm sorry. Like, you're getting close to just you're getting close to just writing this game off, right? If you're IM, it's just go next. You know you've won on Kassan Arena.
Oh, wipeout. Oh no, this is that's the situation that's gonna happen. I always say, just be careful trying to make your weapon around a hammer. They're just gonna just grab you and just like throw you around. Like, they don't like being teased like that.
Good net by inside. Finally gets their revenge for Aaron abusing them with the rockets, but it doesn't seem like it's gonna matter. This is a 12K deficit. I mean,
oh no.
This game was almost like 100% the Aaron show. They did super well this game in doing what you want your trick ball to do. You know, constantly creating space, constantly polymorphing and converting off of their own stuff. Amazing play all around.
Eric is just pulling all these tricks out of his bag, pretty much.
100%, and I mean we're going to a game 4. So I expect Imperium Perfect, or I expect Ippon Masters to run it back Kassan Arena, but similar to how, right? Remember the +1 beta Hime series? Similar to how +1 beta was thinking, all right, if we run it back to Croissant, we won there last time, we can do it again. You know, this is the same thing. Imperium Perfect had the ability to steal Kassan Arena away the entire time, and they almost did, but they were only stopped by a couple of heroic endgame plays by Ippon Masters. So if they feel like they want to go Kassan Arena, they have to tighten up their game plan. Otherwise, the game might just get taken from them.
They need to get those rotations before they do.
Yep.
And keep them away from them.
So
also, like, maybe we can see an ARM stage as well. I mean, they probably still have like a few tricks up its sleeve.
Yeah. But if there's any team that would bring out a different stage, it would probably be Imperium Perfect. I mean, Starling, quite similar to Silk, they love their counter picks, right? And if they feel that the counter pick the map that they want would actually serve as a counter pick to their opponent, they would not hesitate one time, you know, to pick maps like Croissant, to pick maps like Shinobi City, to pick maps like Eagle City, to make sure that the map that they're going to play on actually gives them advantages.
It's a scary situation because Ippon Master has like one chance to make this one work. All right, when it comes to this situation, because this will be a set match if they lose this one. So what they need to do? Oh no, this
Eagle
is
City?
Eagle City. It seems like they are gonna choose a different map that will probably go into their favor.
Yeah, and this is a map that, you know, from all the work that I've done with all the times that I've seen Imperium Perfect play this map, all the times I've seen their individual players play this map, I go out on a limb and say this is definitely not their strongest map by far. So I mean, this counter pick legitimately serves as a counter pick, and don't get me wrong, they have the capability of performing well on this map. It's just, you know, the consistency says otherwise.
I can see them actually pulling a really good game plan out of this, just because of the fact that there's so much room, so much space, that they can be able to move around and try to figure out, like, what do they need to go to? Should they go to the top area, or should they go to the lower area to go get the drones 100 seconds or so? I can see them pulling up something that would surprise you.
Yeah, honestly, look, all right, look, I've watched so much Imperium Perfect that it would take a lot for them to surprise me. I can tell you that for certain. But if they do manage to bring out a game plan that I haven't seen about or I haven't thought of, hey, you're gonna catch me in their DMs because I want the details. And that's
Well, let's see what they got. All right, this is the match over here, possibly match point if anything else happens.
Oh, and guess who is on board for Imperium Perfect? Eric on board for Imperium Perfect. People don't know that's the weapon that Eric used in VR to hit Ninja God. This is what I consider their best weapon to be, and they're an absolute menace with it.
They're in a... Okay, it's pretty even somewhat.
Yeah. Early game goes in favor of Ippon Masters. They get 2 drones to 1, but again, the Imperium Perfect, they're able to scrap properly enough. Anti with the odd play. No HP, but still going for the contest. Very interesting.
Alright.
But again, right, this is an early game that was in favor of IM, but IP really struck back. Getting a couple of Ippons, getting a couple of KOs, and securing the drones that they couldn't secure before, and airing, reading anti like a book. Look, after this game, Airing's gonna receive a DM from anti saying, "Hey, could you leave me alone, please?" Because every single game, Airing is giving them the absolute work, whether it be through rocket, whether it be through melee combat, and having trouble trying to adjust. Right now we're just waiting for Eric to use Shinobi Beast, but it doesn't look like they actually have to.
Oh, an uppercut. Uppercut with this skateboard. Alright.
Beautiful Ippon.
Alright, big weapon as well.
Yep.
My perspective's out there too. Oh, jeez.
Anti gets Asbio. Shiro whiffs Tenchi and pays for it with their life.
Jeez.
Truly unfortunate. Akuma with Punishing Blade, looking to find some value, but again, right? Not using Punishing Blade when you can actually make something of it at that instant, right? Swinging at targets that are so far away, and Eric says, Punishing Blade? I'll put you in the trash can as soon as I came out. The Shinobi Beast coming in hot.
Shinobi Beast jump cancel, that's what happened right there.
And this is
really quick.
That's just that's a Tuesday for Eric with this weapon. Any day of the week.
Alright, they're gonna have to find a way to just try to avoid Airing's charge up attack. Try to get those drones as much as you could.
And I mean, if you look again, Eric with the individual skill from Eric this game is again like one of the main 5 Ippons, 70 seconds left. It's one of the reasons why they have the lead that they have. Like, as I said, this is when I think of airing, I think of their skateboard 10 out of 10 times, and they're doing a really good job of showing me why that's the case.
A very tight lead.
Akuma,
and also you notice one thing too. Eric is also using the gum net to cover up any sort of attack that's coming around. And if they do try to attack Eric, they'll end up getting gum back. So it's pretty much a free advantage for him.
So I mean, the lead is just expanding, right? Went from 1K, now it's 2K. Now we're already. I mean, this is looking rough, and this is looking like a series right now.
You gotta be real close. You gotta get those. Ooh,
Aaron gets one.
Really steep one.
Aaron clips 1. Aaron clips 2, and that's the nail in the coffin. Aaron 5-7, 8K, 3-1 in a handshake. I mean, this was just an absolutely excellent game by Aaron on the skateboard.
Yeah, when 2 people are knocked out during 30 seconds in a match, that is really hard to come out.
So 3-1 in a handshake from Imperium Perfect, Ippon Masters. Every single game they played, they had an opportunity to win. Every single early game, they started off strong, and one way or another, their lead managed to slip away from them, and Ippon Masters took full advantage of it.
Yeah, something gave, but I do feel that Ippon Masters are very strong. I'm just seeing something different in this Eagle City match alone. But
yep.
Yeah,
and hey, as you said, right, Ippon Masters might be strong, but at the end of the day, Imperium Perfect was just stronger.
Yeah.
They had the game plan, they had the rotations, they had an idea in mind as to how they were going to get out of the deficits that they found themselves in during the games.
Seemed unbalanced. It seemed like it was pretty unbalanced between the two, but yeah. Oh, got to say something here. Oh man. But yeah, I feel like that with this situation alone, I'm starting to see that there's a lot of holes in this armor that's going on with Ippon Master, and hopefully they can be able to clean that up for the next matches pretty soon. And adapt to a lot of things that just happened.
Yes, I agree 100%. And I mean,
because there's potential. You know what I'm saying?
Potential. I know it's not even potential. I think they're there, right? They just need to implement it. The talent is there. They just need to implement it, and they need to close out games, which tends to be, most teams today, right? They've had issues closing out games. 4K leads, 5K leads have just evaporated because they haven't been able to close out games properly.
Yeah, those plays are very important in the starting of the game, but also in the last two. So don't forget about those plays that you have to make at the end and try to keep that play going, or try to keep all those points in. Because Ippon Masters, like with that name, dude, I expect a lot. All right, that's a cool name. All right, and I want to see some more. All right, I want to see you guys kick some butt. All right, and so do your best. All right.
The last thing, shout out to Starling for being able to get their team as prepared as they are. It was obvious that this team had it, like as I said previously, obvious by the way they played and how they conducted themselves. They had a plan and they stuck to it. So, and these are players that they haven't played with each other all that much, every once in a while, but across the past week or so, it's just been, Starling has constantly brought them together for matches, for scrims, for ranked, for anything, right? Any opportunity they can play with each other, they take, and it really showed in this game. So looking forward to their performance next week when they have even more practice with each other.